limited a bit. But whether we're going to get an extra lap, we shall see. But let's just get into the race and find out what happens, because it could be exciting. Levi Day, you mentioned him. He could be very rapid.
Yeah, he's third at the moment, so that there is that big dice of 4 of them for third, but they're getting in gear and they're ready to go.
The race is underway, the second part of the Hailwood Trophy and the Sheene Trophy. And let's see how this is all going to go. It's a very, very good start. Once again by Dan Jackson, he takes the lead. Glenn English into second place. And once again, it's not been a great start for Michael Russell.
No, Michael Russell very slow off the line, just struggling to get that going. But it's the 2 strokes out front. It is Jackson and just behind him, Glenn English.
Yeah, but where is Michael? He's about 6th, I think. We'll work it out as they come round. But the man who was very rapid yesterday, so there you are, Dan Jackson, who took the victory in the end yesterday, but he's under a bit of pressure from Glenn English.
Yeah, he is, and already Russell's up to 4th. So, you know, Russell, he's obviously not had any problems this time. He might have been a bit slow off the start, but he's going really well. Great drone shots there.
Yeah, lovely seeing them from the exit of St Mary's down towards Lavant, where, again, it's getting into the double apex right-hander and then onto the long, long back straight, where you really pick up the throttle and straight line speed all the way down here. It's amazing how even the early 1970s 750 powered bikes, there's similar sort of speeds, even in a straight line, to the 1980s, 250s and 350s. No change up front. Dan Jackson's doing a great job so far.
Yeah, it is. So we've got the 350 TZs out front at the moment. And then we got Russell. You can see he's just coming in, very smooth, relaxed style. He's the first of the big 750s.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on, see who's in the quickest of the 250s as well. But Dan Jackson is definitely has just that little bit of command at the moment. As you say, though, I'm keeping an eye on Michael Russell in that 4th place. Little battle going on further behind as Alex Sinclair, number 7, is just trying to see whether he can make some progress. The top 2, though, are easing away a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got a little bit of breathing room. It's quite slow at this first opening lap, though, as you'd expect. 132.2, quickest lap by Jackson. But we'll be keeping an eye. Levi Day just looks like he's getting into the groove. The tyres are just starting to come up to temperature, so as I say, they're going to really start to push on now. And Levi Day took a load of time out around there, really closed the gap, and he's bringing Russell with him. It's going to be a 4-man scrap very, very soon.
It does look that way. It looks like it's going to become a 4-way battle as they come around Lavant once more into this double apex and then opening up the throttle and easing it out onto the long straight, and then just hoping that you've got that straight line speed tucked in as low as you can.
Yeah, very much, because with these the 2-stroke 350s, you know, you've got to keep them singing, you've got to keep them in that little power band, that sort of 8,000 to 11,000. That's where you've got to keep them singing. The Triumph just drives all the way through. It's a much bigger, torquier engine. Doesn't have quite as much top, but it's that bit heavier, so it's a little bit harder to manoeuvre, a little bit harder to stop, rather than these lovely light and fleety 2-strokes. So it's a different style.
Well, let's see how this goes then. Still a bit of time for this to develop, and we shall see. But Dan Jackson still has that advantage. 0.4 of a second quickest this stage.
Yeah, quickest man on that lap was Michael Russell, 126.6. That's more like it. The quickest lap from yesterday was a 125.8. But the sun is out, and here comes Russell.
Yeah, but the problem is that Glenn English, number 25, we've just been told, has got a penalty because of jump start. So although he's still up there in this battle, he has got a 5-second penalty, I gather, and that, of course, that means he's got to get out in front and win by a big margin.
That also means his chance for a podium slot are gone. So at the moment, and look, Russell slipped up into 3rd as well. He's got ahead of Levi Day. He's going to have a look up in 2nd here as well. Oh, no. Glenn English just runs it that bit wide, shuts the line. This is the start. Look at the man on the front left. Yes, he did go a little bit early.
Yeah, you can sort of see why he's ended up with a penalty, but it is a bit of a shame because it's such a great race that's going on between this little group at the moment. He's still in 2nd place, the one that has got the penalty, but as you say, Michael Russell is definitely getting into this even more with the Triumph Trident T150. There he is on the inside. Is he actually going to go try and further pass? No, not quite, but he may be taking 2nd. No, not.
And you saw English just let the brakes off a fraction, go around the outside, and is he going to go have a look up the inside? He is. You do not see a lot of passing there. He might run a fraction wide. No, he doesn't. He gets it turned and gets it fired out. So English, but Jackson just had that slightly better exit. He's back in the lead.
Yeah, that was beautifully done, but this is also allowing Levi Day to join in. So Levi Day's at the back of this group. and he is now becoming a factor 2. We'll see how this develops, but Dan Jackson is in front, but here we go again. Glenn English is coming back alongside, could have another chance to go through here on the inside.
Oh, that nearly went on the grass. He had his foot off.
Yeah.
Glenn English in second spot.
As a rider, if you have to do that, you mean you're in a bit of trouble.
It is. It's just a slight misjudgment, but it could cost you dearly there, so you've got to be careful. Jackson just going about his business, hitting his marks, and let's have a look. I thought Russell's just slipped through to second. Remember, the overall win is between number 55 and number 68. There's a little bit of debris, someone's belly pan by the looks of it.
Right.
Or is it a mudguard? No, I think it's a belly pan, so someone's lost that.
Okay, well, let's hope that it doesn't cause any problems as they come down the straight. It's not a huge piece, is it?
I think there's a problem for English in fourth. Can they see it? Yes.
Oh, it's all right if you're in front. You get a clear view, but if you're behind...
It's a bit of fairing. It's off the track.
That's good news.
Well done. So, it is Jackson as we come round in and just got... It's so important to get these things in. You see, he really works on the entry to get it fired out. But here comes Russell. At the moment, it is. Let's have a look at that gap as they cross the line. So, Jackson crossed the line. 26.5.
Russell being passed. Look.
Oh, here's Levi Day.
Yeah, he's gone through. So that was a very rapid move. Oh, there's that was the bit of bodywork.
It's off Maria Costello, CB 750. So it's just a left-hand side of her fairing.
Well, at the moment, it's still Dan Jackson who's doing such an amazing job to hold on to this bike. It was rebuilt and debuted at this members meeting some years ago, and it's had consistent podiums. Can it take the overall win? We've still got this amazing battle going on for second, though. Levi Day doing a great job. He's into second place, but under massive pressure from Michael Russell.
Yeah, well, at the moment, as it stands, you know, it would be Jackson first, Russell second, and Levi Day in third. So these are the three podium finishers. Levi Day has blown off the rest of the guys that were battling with him for that third. But the big question is, who's going to take the win? Can number 68, Michael Russell, finish 0.6 of a second in front of Jackson or not? At the moment, he's got a little bit of work to do.
Glenn English has dropped back. We know he's got the penalty as well, but he has actually dropped back a little bit from this group. I'm not quite sure why, but here comes Levi. Levi Day going down the inside now to take the lead of the race. He has won this event in the past, but he's showing great pace in today's race because yesterday was a little bit more of a struggle, but this is fantastic. And now, Michael Russell in third place. Is he going to find a way to cope with these 350cc bikes that are now both leading? The Yamahas are flying along at the moment. Dan Jackson is also going, have another go, back down the inside. There's not quite the room to do it.
No, they actually look quite different, those two Yamahas, but they're exactly the same. They're both 1980s. This is the past, Levi Day up the inside. They're both TZ350Gs from 1980, but Jackson's is a Harris, so it's got a special Harris chassis, slightly different bodywork, but they've got identical engines. Here comes Russell. He had to think about it. He knows what he's got to do. You know, Levi Day's irrelevant. He's 5 seconds behind them overall in the two-race scenario when you put it together, so he's just got to beat that man Jackson. That's what he's got to concentrate on. But Levi Day doing a cracking job out front there.
He is doing a great job, and I just wonder, Michael Russell, is he going to get that little bit more performance we saw in the latter stage of the race yesterday? He's trying to go at the outside for second place, but I'm not sure he's going to do that there.
No, he isn't. You'll see Jackson probably just got to cover his line off a little bit as they come down into here. So there's not a lot in it, isn't the top speed, is it?
It's amazing the top speed of the two bikes up front, which are in a different form to the bike in third, and yet they're doing pretty much exactly the same speed down the main straight. In the corners, there doesn't seem to be a huge difference either.
It looks a little bit like the Triumph, the Triumph of number 68 Russell. It feels like it's a little bit more compliant, a little bit more comfortable over the bumpy section, especially turn one, where you see the 250 just feel a little bit rigid, the 350s, and his Triumph just seems to soak it all up a fraction better.
Yeah, but it's also a heavier bike too.
It is.
The way it floats into a corner is slightly different.
Yeah, and he's very, very smooth, Russell, as well. But it is Jackson back in the lead. But here comes Levi Day. He's not going to quite get there for the kink.
Nearly, but not quite. And now Russell goes around the outside. Now we're seeing this sort of extra oh my goodness, that was close front to rear. But now he's tucking to the inside. He's taken second. Can he take the lead?
Yeah, and remember, this is the last lap. So at the moment, it's going to be Jackson. It's they are really on it. What can Russell do? He's got to try and force a move. Remember, he's got to beat him by half a second if he wants to take the win.
Well, let's see. We are into the final stages of this second race. Remember, it's combining the two together that makes such a difference. And yesterday it was Dan Jackson who took the win, and Michael Russell needs to get past him and get more than half a second ahead, but I'm not sure he's going to do that.
No, Jackson was so good coming out of there. He's covering his line back marker ahead. That is actually Michael Russell's dad, who's doing a great job there. But they're going to come through. Are they going to hit him just before the chicane?
It looks like Dan Jackson's on target for 2 wins. If they get this right into the chicane, it could get even closer. But they've kept it clean, beautifully done, getting past the other bike. And Dan Jackson has taken 2 out of 2 victories, and he is definitely the overall winner of the Hailwood Trophy this year. What a wonderful battle that was. It does mean that Michael Russell wins the Sheene Trophy because of the separate classes that these bike riders are on. But well done, and what a dramatic display it was, and well done to Levi Day as well.
Absolutely.
Third place with fastest lap.
Yeah, fastest lap for him. So it's Jackson and Day. They are first and second in the Hailwood Trophy. As you say, Russell has won the Sheene with Vermeulen second and Higlett third. So, but what a great battle we've had, and what an interesting race with the mixture of motorcycles. But well done, Dan Jackson. Great win for him. He really wanted that, and you could see it.
He did, and he's done well here at Goodwood in the past. As I mentioned, he won the 79 members meeting.
And that's Gordon, sorry, number 67 is Michael's father, so
that's
nice little moment there as they went either side of him on the last lap into the chicane.
Just imagine how embarrassing it would have been if that had gone wrong, but he kept very straight, didn't he, and they found it easy to go past him.
Yeah, so yeah, and Levi Day again, really nice ride from him, fastest lap of the race. You know, he hadn't ridden one of these for a few years, so I think he's just had a little bit of fettling overnight. Obviously got the suspension working maybe a fraction better, or the carburation, because it just looked a little bit sharper in that one.
And Alex Sinclair had a good result as well, actually. He finished in 4th, because yesterday he was 11th in first race, but he's actually had a very good race today. So bike number 7 finishing in 4th position. Well done to him. For Glenn English, it all went a little bit wrong. He actually dropped back. I think there must have been an issue with the bike as well as him. Or actually, it's the penalty, of course, that's been added now, which has dropped him down our list. So he has dropped down into 6th place. Yes, so with the 5-second penalty, that's why it's pushed him down a bit further. Yeah, don't want to jump the start, do you? But you do want to make a good start. So it's always a bit tricky to get that right. But very, very well done by Dan Jackson. It's lovely to see the crowd here at Goodwood celebrating another great race. We've had 2 strong races already today, whether it's on 4 wheels or 2 wheels.
Absolute brilliant start to the day, so fantastic. And if you're looking at number 36 there, that's the Norris Westlake, and you know, a really interesting bike motorcycle that, so lovely to see some of that. There was such a range of bikes coming through. There's Michael Russell as well, just coming through on the Hadley Honda CB750, so some just a beautiful mix of these classic machines.
It is wonderful, and the closeness, I find it amazing that we have these 2 classes in the Hailwood and the Sheene, and they were battling for the win between the different forms of bike, and it was the gap just 0.4 of a second across the line. Wonderful.
Yeah, speaking to this man Dan Jackson yesterday, he said, I really want to beat Russell. He said he wins the revival, he wins all the time. He said, I've got to try and beat him overall, even though they're winning their own separate classes. He wanted to take that overall win.
Well, he did it beautifully, and fully deserved to take the victory. It was all very clean, very beautifully ridden, and well done to Dan Jackson for taking the overall victory by taking both wins, but also well done to Michael Russell. He has won the Sheene Trophy by finishing 2nd overall.
There's Sally Gordon as well. Sally obviously instrumental. I mean, obviously his mother, but instrumental in being there with the bikes to Goodwood and making sure the right machines are here. You know, that whole Russell family are such an integral part of this. So great to see her as well. And that is your winner, Dan Jackson.
And it's lovely seeing all of both the drivers and the riders when they get in. We saw it with the Formula Juniors just now. They all get on so well, even though they race so hard against each other. They all admire each other. They all respect each other.
Yeah, you've got to, haven't you? You know, you're doing the same thing. You're all like-minded people, and so yeah, really lovely to see. You can see how happy he is.
Let's join Ed and have a chat with him.
What a race, Dan. 2 from 2. They didn't make it easy.
No, definitely not. And I knew I had it today because Mike yesterday was so strong, and yeah, not easy at all. I had a bit of Glenn, a bit of Levi, a bit of everyone, and yeah, the bike was absolutely faultless. The wind's changed direction completely today, so didn't know how it was going to respond to that, but yeah, really pleased, and we made a bit of a race of it. Love it. Love Goodwood, and I've got 2 wins this weekend, so happy.
No matter how much you try and tuck down behind that windscreen, you do punch a hole, don't you?
Yeah, it's good for anyone behind, but yeah, no, it's I try and tuck in, and I'll certainly be aching tomorrow. I know that, definitely.
It was great to watch. Well done.
Thank you.
Let's find our second place man. Michael, I mean, what a race. I don't know where to start, but congratulations, you won the Sheene Trophy, but I know you wanted to be 1 place higher overall.
Well, I have to say thanks to Sam, who owns it, Andy, who built it. It's a mega bike, but that was so much fun. Racing with 2 really good friends at Goodwood. I mean, I'm going to think about this for weeks. It was amazing. Yeah.
Well, look, I actually think we've got some footage of that last lap when you got into second and nearly into first. So just talk us through this.
Yeah, it's interesting. They accelerate a bit quicker. Mine's got a bit top end. It's slippery out there, so we're all struggling with a little bit of grip issues. And as you go over the rise here, I think on the last lap, Lee has a little slide, I have a little slide. It doesn't look much, trust me, it felt a lot. Then mine gets going here, but there's a bike in the way. And then it was a case of just trying to get as close as I could to Dan. And then guess what? My dad's in the way on a beautiful bike. And fair play to Dan, he rode superbly. And a wheelie, showing off, isn't he? It was brilliant, yeah, really amazing.
Well, that goes fantastic to watch. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Let's find Levi. Here we go. Levi, I thought you had it going into the last couple of laps there.
Yeah, to be honest, Ed, it felt pretty good out there, so I thought I might have a chance at winning today. But yeah, both the boys rode really well today, but it was nice to be a little bit more in the mix today than I was yesterday. I was probably the quickest of the second group yesterday, and at least we got onto the front boys today, and yeah, really enjoyed that.
Seemed like one of those races where a tiny mistake cost you dear.
Yeah, and with the, even with the 4 strokes, but the 2 strokes especially, when we were in their slipstream, if you couldn't pass them and you had to roll off, we just lost so much momentum. But my wife told me last night, she said, you weren't tucking in enough yesterday, so I tried to get behind the bubble a little bit more today, and yeah, improved the lap times and another third, so happy with that.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Wonderful. So really good. And let's take a look at the results. And first of all, let's have a look at the result of that actual second race. So here we are. Dan Jackson winning from Michael Russell. Levi Day in third. Alex Sinclair doing a great job to go up to fourth. Jeffrey Vermeulen in fifth. The penalty putting Glenn English down to sixth. And then Graham Higlett in seventh. Richard Parker in eighth place. Andy Hornby ninth. And Mark Linton in 10th. Ian Bain, Michael Rutter, Luke Redger and Cormac Conroy in the top 14. Tony Perkin, Maria Costello had that little bit of bodywork fall off, but she managed to bring it to the end. That was fine in 16th. Patrick Banfield, Jimmy May, Simon Woodward and Sebastian Perez completing the top 20. And then Dominic Veazey, Mike Farrell, Derek Cripps, Daniel Pritchard, and further down, as you see, Gordon Russell, Dad, as Michael was saying, in the way. I don't think he was in the way at all. I think he gave them plenty of space to go past, so that was fine. So let's now look at the combined. We are going to have a look at the combined, but we also know that, of course, with Jackson taking both victories, it's a very straightforward. We're not by much because they were first and second in both races. So Jackson, the overall winner, Russell, the winner of the Sheene Trophy, Levi Day in third overall, English in fourth place overall, and then Jeffrey Vermeulen, Graham Higlett. Andy Hornby was seventh overall, ahead of Mark Linton, Alex Sinclair, and Richard Parker. So that is the top 10 in the overall standings. And well done, of course, for vital points for the houses. They're getting 250 points for a win, but it was a great race. I really enjoyed that, James.
Yeah, no, it was a lovely start, as you say. 2 great races to start the day. This is Jackson. He does get the whole shot. English behind, Higlett up the inside, Levi Day. Not a great start for Russell. You know, he was just sort of coming through, but he didn't take long. You could just see him coming through there, as along with Michael Rutter and the rest of the guys as they come through here. And we get this great shot from the drone. And yeah, it was really coming in. And then you can see he goes on his way. Russell there up into fourth, Levi there in third. Behind him you got Sinclair, Higlett, and then here comes Russell having a good look up the inside, coming into here. So he nearly gets it, but English lets off the brakes, rolls around the outside, and then they they come into here, and this move here, you don't see a lot of moves coming into this chicane, so it was a great move, but he actually runs a fraction wide, gets squared off by Jackson, and then it was the heat on. This is where the big 750 gets going a little bit, swoops round the outside of English. Oh, that's when English nearly just tipped it in almost a bit too much. That might have been the wind that he's talking about, and he actually has to pick it up, foot off the peg, and then here comes Levi Day up the inside. Nice little move, keeps it really sweet on line, gets it out, and you can see the difference in size between them there. It's a really sort of a good shot. The lovely little TZ 350s, and then he led for a while. He got the fastest lap of the race, but it was Jackson in second, who was always on the prowl along with Russell, and he gets a really good drive coming out this time, goes round the inside, and he gets it. Levi Day has a little look, can't quite make it, and you can see Russell in third, really working, trying to get back in it.
Yeah, no, it was a wonderful fight between all three of them. I really, really enjoyed it. And the quality, and even if when they make those tiny little mistakes, they still get away with it, don't they?
They do, and it's just a little diminutive 350s,
yeah.
You know, the big F2 750, and then here we go, he crosses the line, and Dan Jackson takes the win.
Thanks, James. It's been really great to enjoy that, and well done to Dan Jackson for taking the overall victory.